Good evening from Hong Kong. I'm Marcus T. Anthony, and I'm a futurist with a particular interest in the futures of mind and consciousness. And today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about something that's quite fascinating to me, and that is the consciousness of skepticism. If you read my blog, you might have noticed my last post was about a controversy over a new article which is appearing in the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology. And this is written by Darrell Ben, who's a parapsychologist. He's written a paper called Feeling the Future, and it's about precognition, the ability of people to sense what's going to happen in the future. For example, one of the particular experiments that he set up was to test whether learning a list of vocabulary words can actually make you understand the words better before you learn them. Okay, so that's quite interesting. So what he did was he tested people on different lists of words, and some of those lists of words they were about to study after they'd been tested for them. Remember, they're being tested for these words before they actually learn them. And he found a small correlation or a significant outcome for the idea that if you learn a vocabulary list, you actually understand them better before you learn them. In other words, learning them in the future will influence your capacity to understand them in the present. So in other words, the future somehow is reaching out and influencing us in the present. Of course, this has created a little bit of a stir in some sections. In particular, I'll quote you here one of the more interesting reactions. And this is by Ray Herman, who's a rather avid skeptic. And this is what he says about the article. He says, "It's craziness, pure craziness. I can't believe a major journal is allowing this work in. I think it's just an embarrassment for the entire field. I wouldn't rule out the possibility that it was an elaborate hoax." Okay, so that's what he said. Now, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to not focus on Hyman, the skeptic. I'm going to look at the idea of skepticism as a whole. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to channel here, or connect with the energy field of skepticism as a collective. As I've written before on this blog, it's actually possible to tap into an energy field of an individual or a collective. And this is what I learned to do over many years of working with different teachers of mind and spiritual teachers. So this is how it works. So I actually explain this a little bit in my book, Sage of Synchronicity. Now, this is a piece of paper, a very ordinary piece of paper, as you can see, and it's got a little line across the top. And this particular intuitive tool I call the quick check. I'm going to run my finger across the line, and I'm going to channel the energy of skepticism as a whole and read into it what lies behind or under the real world observable behavior of skeptics. Okay? Because behind every piece of information, behind every, whether it's verbal, whether it's visual, or whether it's auditory, whether it's on a piece of paper, behind every particular piece of information, there's actually a consciousness field embedded implicitly within that by the person or the people or the group that have created that information. So here I'm going to tap into that particular consciousness field of skeptics. And let's just see what comes out here. So the first thing I'm picking up here, as I feel the energy on the pages, I won't let go. I'm refusing to let go. No, I'm not going to let go. This is actually a fear of letting go. There's a sense here that if I allow these anomalous thoughts, which are not from my own mind, or this consciousness field, which are not from my own mind, to pervade me, then I will lose control. So there's a genuine fear of loss of control. Okay, that takes us about that far across the page, which is about 25%. No, I'm not letting go. I'm scared. I'm going to be annihilated. So actually, there's a fear of death here. The idea that the ego is going to let go and expand is perceived by the ego as a threat to its existence. It's going to dissipate or annihilate and become dispersed into the greater environment. Okay, that takes us quite a way along the line, about 70%. So I'm not going to let go. I'm terrified. Now there's also a strong fear here of the mother energy, or the feminine energy. So this is why a lot of skeptics are male. Like 80-90% of skeptics are male. It's the terror of the mother, actually. And in particular, the feminine or creative energy. And this is, in another sense, a fear of God, in the feminine sense, the creator. Because the act of creation is in itself, it's feminine. It's a receptive process. You can't control it in terms of the biological process. Now the last part here, which I'm getting right near the end, is actually an anger at God and the universe. And this is this is why you sense a lot of anger in skepticism. So it's like, actually what it is, it's in the end, this is a fear and anger at God for the seeming randomness of the universe. It's like, there's so much death and destruction, why does this all happen? So there's a real anger here at God. It's almost like, I'm going to swear here, like, fuck you, God. There's the want to kill and destroy because of the seeming pointlessness and meaninglessness of life. How can there possibly be anything greater than this? It's all meaningless. It's all pointless. And in many cases, this is the very final thing, it comes back to disappointments. There's a sense of disappointment from things from childhood that never turned out to be true. The lies, the fairy tales, Santa Claus, all the things that we're told as young people that are not necessarily true, but they're told because they're told to us to please the child. So, this is what I've just picked up. This is the sense of what drives skepticism in terms of at least the extreme form of skepticism, the dogmatism, the debunking community. There's the essence of it really is a fear of letting go, and the fear of the feminine, the fear of the receptive. That I'm going to lose control, I'm going to be destroyed. So it's really the fear of death that lies behind skepticism, and the anger. Okay, and it's all about the feminine essence of it. Okay, well, that's my first attempt here on this blog to do a little bit of channeling for you. I'll probably do some more in the future. We'll see. And I hope you've learned a little bit both about what I mean by the quick check and tapping into consciousness fields. And I hope maybe you can reflect a little bit on what I just intuited about the skeptical mind. Okay, thanks for listening.